Have you ever wondered, like, if what's going on in the world could, like, mean something deeper spiritually?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like the Our Daily Bread channel.
Mm-hmm.
They have this discussion. It's called, "This is Really Happening. I Promise You, He is Coming."
Oh, wow.
And we're going to dive deep into this today.
Okay, cool.
And look at how it connects faith, current events, and the second coming of Christ.
Yeah, it's fascinating how they use those current events, like, economic troubles, all the global conflict.
Right, all the division.
Yeah, and they use that as like a jumping off point to talk about biblical prophecy.
It definitely grabs your attention.
Yeah.
Because the world feels pretty chaotic right now. So to hear these events framed through like that biblical prophecy lens from Matthew,
Yeah.
it's definitely thought-provoking.
Yeah, and they don't really like dwell on fear or anything like that. Instead, they emphasize that, for believers, these events aren't meaningless or random.
Right.
They're seen as signs pointing towards the second coming of Christ and that message of hope.
So it's less about, doom and gloom and more about understanding these events
Yeah.
in like a bigger picture.
Exactly. And that context is like all about the return of Christ found in John 14:3,
Okay.
where it says, I will come again and will take you to myself, that where I am, you may be also.
Right.
And that return is like the big, fulfillment of God's promises, restoring justice, peace, and ultimately like redeeming humanity.
It's powerful.
Yeah, it really resonates with believers.
I can see how that would offer comfort
Yeah.
and hope, especially during times of uncertainty. But what does it all mean for us now?
Yeah.
Like day to day, what's the takeaway for someone listening to this?
Well, they really stress being spiritually prepared.
Okay.
They even quote Matthew 24:42.
Oh, wow.
It says, therefore, keep watch because you do not know on what day your Lord will come.
Right.
But it's not about anxiously waiting.
Yeah.
It's about, making that connection with God deeper and personal.
So like being mindful, resisting distractions, and keeping that eternal perspective. you know?
Yeah.
Like living in the present, but remembering the bigger picture.
Exactly. Recognizing that, like, what we do and the choices we make, they matter beyond, just this life.
So like a call to live a life that reflects those values, to put your faith into action.
Exactly. And they're very clear that preparing for Christ's return isn't just like sitting around waiting.
Yeah.
It's about living out those Christian values like love, forgiveness, compassion, and humility.
Like embodying those in every aspect of life.
Yes, reflecting Christ's teaching.
But it's not just about believing, it's about doing.
Absolutely. And they emphasize that this journey, of faith,
Yeah.
we're not meant to walk it alone.
Okay.
And that's where the discussion goes to community.
That's interesting because a lot of times we think of spiritual preparation as like a solo thing,
Yeah.
but this is suggesting otherwise,
Yeah, they highlight the importance of supporting each other and encouraging each other within the community.
especially during those times of doubt or hardship.
Yeah, because, life can be tough, and having that shared faith
For sure.
can be a huge source of strength.
Yeah, and resilience.
Absolutely. They point to 1 Thessalonians 4:16-18
Okay.
as like a source of strength and unity for believers.
Right?
It's a beautiful passage. It reminds us that we're in this together, united by that hope in Christ's return.
So finding strength in each other, sharing that hope,
Yeah.
supporting each other.
Exactly. It's about that feeling of belonging and a shared purpose within that community.
It's a powerful concept, especially in a world that can feel so isolating these days.
It is, it speaks to that need for connection, and belonging, especially when we're facing so much uncertainty.
Do you feel that, listener?
Yeah.
Does that resonate with you?
Yeah, it's something to think about.
It is.
How do you find that strength and support in your own life, especially when things are hard?
Uh-huh.
And how do you share your own hopes and fears with others?
Those are great questions to reflect on. It seems like finding that balance between personal spiritual growth and nurturing connections with others is key to this whole idea of preparing for Christ's return.
It's not either or. It's like this interplay between individual faith and the strength we get from a shared belief.
I wonder how that emphasis on community is like portrayed in Our Daily Bread discussion.
Oh, that's a good question. Let's look at how they depict this dynamic and go through some of the specific examples they give. So they actually use this really great analogy to show how important community is.
Okay.
They compare the Christian community to a body, with each person like playing a specific part.
That's a powerful image. I feel like I've read about that
Yeah.
in the Bible too.
Yeah.
It's that reminder that we're all connected.
Yeah.
Our actions impact everyone.
Exactly. So just like a body needs all of its parts, to work, right? The Christian community needs its members to support and lift each other up. And they actually share some stories of people who found strength and guidance through their church communities when they were going through tough times.
It makes sense having that network of people who share your beliefs and values.
Yeah.
It can offer you that sense of belonging
Right.
that you might not find elsewhere. But what about people who might not be so sure about all of this?
Yeah.
Who might not share these beliefs or even find the idea of the second coming kind of daunting?
That's a good question. And they do say that, the world can feel overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up in the fear and anxiety
Right.
when you're faced with all the negative stuff.
Right.
But they emphasize that the message of Christ's return is one of hope, not fear.
So shifting our perspective,
Yeah.
focusing on the bigger picture instead of getting stuck in those immediate challenges.
Exactly. They encourage listeners to see current events not as the end,
Okay.
but as a lead up to something bigger,
Mm-hmm.
a fresh start, full of healing, justice, and redemption.
It's like looking past those storm clouds and seeing the sun waiting to come out.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
It is.
They really emphasize this idea that no matter how hard things get,
Yeah.
there's this bigger story unfolding. And they encourage us to trust in God's plan
What?
and find comfort in that promise of Christ's return.
So it's a call to action. Live with purpose, love deeply, and hold on to hope,
Yeah.
even when things are uncertain.
And to remember that we're not alone.
Right.
We have each other and that promise of Christ's return to guide us.
It's a powerful message of resilience and hope.
It is.
One that reminds us that even when we're facing global challenges, personal struggles, our own doubts, there's that source of strength and comfort available.
Absolutely. And they also touch on the idea that preparing for the second coming isn't just about outward actions,
Okay.
but also about preparing yourself internally.
So aligning our thoughts and intentions,
Yeah.
our actions with our faith.
Yes, it's about growing those qualities like humility, forgiveness, and compassion.
Does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, and they argue that these things don't just prepare us for the future.
They actually make our lives better right now. They make us better people,
Right.
better members of our communities, and just better able to handle life's ups and downs.
It's fascinating how they connect spiritual preparedness with personal growth and just ethical living.
Yeah.
It's not about waiting for something to happen. It's about becoming the best versions of ourselves.
Exactly. And they emphasize that this transformation isn't something you do alone.
Right.
You need the support and encouragement of others, the guidance from Scripture, and that constant search for a deeper connection with God.
It sounds like a lifelong journey of learning, growing, and connecting.
Yeah.
A journey that's personal, but also communal.
That's a beautiful way to put it. Our Daily Bread discussion isn't just about theology.
Yeah.
It's offering us like a guide for living a meaningful life. It encourages us to live with purpose, to find comfort in our faith, and to get strength from the connections we have with each other. It really shows the impact that faith can have on our outlook, our actions,
Right.
and our relationships.
Exactly. And it reminds us that even in a world full of uncertainty and turmoil,
Yeah.
we can find peace, hope, and purpose through our faith.
It's really amazing how they bring all this together.
Yeah.
Complex ideas about faith,
Yeah.
but also real advice for how we live our lives.
They give us a lot to think about, about faith and how we use it to deal with the stuff we face in today's world.
Yeah, and I think it's really interesting how they say we shouldn't just be waiting for the second coming.
Right.
We should be preparing by living a life that matches our values.
That's so important. It's about realizing that faith isn't just something you believe.
Yeah.
It's how you live your life.
It's about those choices we make every day, trying to be our best selves.
And they remind us we're not alone in this. We have our communities, the Bible, and God's love to guide us.
That idea of being on a journey together with a shared purpose,
Yeah.
it's really powerful.
It is. It's about that human need to connect,
Right.
to belong, to find meaning in something bigger than ourselves.
This deep dive has been so insightful. It's made me think differently about what's happening in the world, about my own spiritual journey, and how I connect with people who share my faith.
It's a good reminder that no matter what's going on around us, there's a bigger story unfolding.
Right.
And they want us to look beyond what we see right now and think about the deeper spiritual meaning.
To find that hope, even when things are uncertain, to lean on each other, and to live each day with purpose.
So what really stood out to you from this discussion? What will you take with you as you continue to learn and grow in your faith?
For me, it's that idea of living a life that reflects what we believe.
Yeah.
It's not just waiting for something to happen. It's about actively shaping our lives, our communities, and the world through what we do and the choices we make.
That's powerful. And it reminds us that even little acts of kindness and compassion, they can make a difference, a positive change that spreads beyond just us.
This has been a great exploration of faith, hope, and the power of community, a conversation that will stick with me.
And we hope it makes you think, too, and keeps the conversation going for you as well, listener. Until next time, may you find peace or purpose and connection on your own journey.